More trees than you can shake a stick at. Something du diable. Wow, pretty damn grim.
Christ! Did you do that on purpose?
Not at all.
So what the hell's up with this? I'm guessing these are Prince James' men. Am I right?
Yeah, for once.
Oh, so how'd they end up grinning with their larynxes?
They did run a flagpole up the Abbe's butt. Maybe he did it.
He mentioned something on the tour about not having a car.
It could be a ruse.
Could be, but he doesn't look strong enough to handle these two. They're not exactly lightweights.
He did seem intimidated at the church. He could have called someone in, though.
That quickly? I suppose it's possible. Take a look around, see if you spot any clues.
He has that green tinge he gets at crime scenes. Hell, I probably have it too. That must be the so-called armchair they're laying in. There's scratches on the rock. They're old, though. Probably not related to the murder. It's Prince James's two men, all right. I don't see any blood.
Yeah. Weird, huh? Throats opened up like a Christmas package and not a drop of the red stuff anywhere.
There's no blood on the clothes. That's a clean gash.
And deep. Ooh, they knew what they were doing, all right.
Oh, God. They look like slaughtered cattle. About who might have done it.
Yeah, and?
It had to be the kidnappers, don't you think?
If so, they're a hell of a lot nastier than we thought. And weirder. This is no ordinary killing. Look at them.
Could be vampires.
Yeah? Not the kind what's-his-face wrote about.
That would be Stoker, Bram Stoker.
Thank you. Not the kind Stoker wrote about. Take a look at these guys.
I haven't got the first clue who did this.
It's too bad. Look around. Maybe something will come up. An idea, or your breakfast, one of the two.
Notice anything suspicious when the group saw the dead bodies?
Madeline sure as hell didn't want to leave. She looked like she was just itching to check things out. Fortunately, that Howard lady was throwing a hissy fit. And Maddie didn't have much of a choice. Not sure why she'd be so interested in a couple of dead guys.
Oh? And why are you so interested?
I'm helping you. Let's look around and talk about stuff as we find it.
Another one of those tourist signs. Now they can put "dead bodies found here" on it. I'm reading, but I can't see as it actually says anything. Nothing on there tells me why the killers picked this spot to dump the bodies. Shit, Mose, get over here.
What is it? Is that what I think it is?
I think it's what you think it is. Looks like it. Ugh. They're pools of blood.
smell like?
Not much. Earthy. Dead. Anyway, sure doesn't smell like wine. No way! Sticky. And red. Considering how friable the ground looks, I'd say that was a lot of blood soaked up, wouldn't you?
Yep. Maybe even all of it.
Which explains why there's no blood near the bodies.
Yeah, but geez, I thought the voodoo murders were strange. What do you make of this? Neat little piles? You know, like Felix Unger meets Freddy Krueger?
They obviously drained the blood here on purpose. The question is, why?
At least it rules out vampires.
Not necessarily. Maybe they're just picky eaters. This MO with the blood is too weird. It's gotta have a purpose. There are two slightly curved indentations here.
Footprints?
I don't think so. Wrong shape.
So what are they?
I wonder what those indentations are from. Knee prints, of course. The assassins must have made them kneel, and then...
But there are no other prints. There should be some sign of a struggle, or at least the footprints of the assailants. Victims just wouldn't kneel down and be cooperative. Huh, Nat? What about the assailants?
Mosley's right. If those are knee indentations, why are there no footprints? Whoa, shit!
What?
Man.
What?
Nothing. Must be my imagination.
Man, you're even weirder than you were back in New Orleans. You know that?
Yeah, I do know that. I'm not sure what I saw, but I sure don't want to see it again. I think that's about it. Guess I'll head out.
Sounds good to me. I'm surprised the cops haven't shown up yet.
Oh, they will. And I'm sure they will appreciate your thoughtful protection of the murder scene.
Hey, Madeline.
And what are you doing here, Monsieur Knight?
Why don't you call me Gabriel? This monsieur stuff is so French.
All right. What are you doing here, Gabriel?
I came to keep Mo's company. He's a bit squeamish, you know. Never could stand the sight of blood.
Shut up, you hoser.
I am beginning to think there is more to both of you than meets the eye.
Oh, there's more, all right. In my
Not you, animal.
head. So what brings you here, Madeline?
I came to wait for the police. They are French police, after all. So you and you, Monsieur Mosely, may feel you have done your duty. Au revoir. À bientôt. Toutle ou.
Your wish is my command.
By the way, Gabriel, can you tell me the two dead men's names?
Me?
I saw you and your little girlfriend talking to them last night in the parking lot.
Oh, see, Gracie, my assistant, caught a ride with them from Paris, but she didn't know them.
That sounds very odd to me, but perhaps the police will be more understanding.
Oh, come on. There's no need to waste their time. Maybe you and I can go over it more thoroughly later.
Very well. I look forward to it.
See you, Madeline. Toodaloo. Hey, could you... Shit. Give me a ride, will you?
Get on. Just make sure those hush puppies don't mar the chrome.
You used to be a lot funnier. You know that?
And you could touch your toes once. Shit happens. As far as I know, Mose is in his room. Hey, Mosely.
I'll be out later, Nat.
No, I've got it. Hello?
Prince James, this is Gabriel Knight.
Mr. Knight, yes. Did Grace arrive safely last night?
She did. You haven't heard from your men, have you?
No. You did see them last night?
Yes, they dropped Grace at the hotel and took off. But I'm afraid I have bad news.
What is it?
Sir, your men were found dead this morning. It appears to have happened sometime in the night.
Oh my God. I don't understand.
I don't either. Let me tell you how they were found. There's this landmark out here called the Armchair of the Devil. This morning, completely drained. I didn't see any footprints, none at all. Prince James?
I'm here.
Have you received any blackmail or ransom notices?
No, I haven't.
Well, sir, I'm still looking into it. We're going to find your son. Is there anything else I should know?
No. No.
Because I'm willing to do whatever I can, but it'd be a lot easier if I knew.
Please, Gabriel, if you keep your eyes open for me, you will be well rewarded. Now I must go.
Hello? Prince James? Lord Stewart? Hell! Oh, hell! He's probably off making his own plans. Damn, that man is frustrating. I'll go get the Harley. It's the French police. Say, that reminds me of a joke. Nah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That little misdemeanor would really help this case. I don't know why Madeline thinks she should be here. Mallory and MacDougall weren't part of her group. Maybe she just lacks uniforms. The only thing that would induce me to get into a van like that is if Madeline were in it. I really don't want to get caught up with the local cops. There are some tire tracks in the dirt. I can't get enough detail from the tracks in the dirt. That's the car Prince James's men arrived in. I don't see any signs of a struggle in there. Don't think I need to search it. Mallory and MacDougall could have parked the car here, but I don't know why they'd bother to hide it. It's more likely that the killers stashed it here. Maybe they grabbed Mallory and MacDougall somewhere else and brought them here to be executed. Those are the tires that made those prints out by the road. I'd like to know where all Mallory and MacDougall went last night. Maybe tire tracks like these would help, if I could compare the tread. It's the tire tread from Mallory and MacDougall's car. I sure would like to know what Mallory and MacDougall did last night. Maybe I'll see some tire tracks out in the valley. Okay, here's the joke. What's the difference between heaven and hell? In heaven, the Germans are the bureaucrats, the English are the police, and the French are the cooks. In hell, the French are the bureaucrats, the Germans are the police, and the English are the cooks. Hey, don't blame me, I only read this stuff. Tourist sign. Poussin's tomb lookout. That's the tomb the sign mentions. Must be some famous person named Poussin buried there. Remind me to put it in my will. I'd rather not be stuck in a sarcophagus at the side of the road. That looks just like private property. I love it when it's that easy. Good thing they have those up, 'cause there's nothing more tempting to vandalize than a tomb on a hill. Classy sign. Snooty, even. Those leaves, or whatever they are, look sharp. They've got a regular fortress here. Must be to keep out marauding peasants, or winos. How about I just walk through the open gate? There are some tire tracks in the dirt. These tracks match Mallory and MacDougall's car. Now, why would Prince James's men be snooping around Chateau de Serres? I doubt they came here for the wine. That's a big freaking house. Boy, those are up there. I'm glad I'm a Schottenjäger instead of a window washer. That tower looks like a really big scroll. Now, why does the name Princess Cassima keep popping into my head? Nice fountain. Probably makes the tourists thirsty. I may be an American, but I know better than that. It's the front door.
Je regrette, mais nous sommes fermés.
I have no idea what you just said, but
Yes, what is it you want?
What is it I want? Oh, good question. Let's see. I deserve that. No point in knocking again until I figured out a reason to be here. Well, I can't very well tell him I'm looking for vampires. I need a cover story. Storm cellar doors. We had those back in Louisiana. They're locked, Auntie Em. Climb the wall? What kind of an idiot would try that? There's a wine tasting room in there. Pretty good wine, too. It's about the winery, I think. They're closed. They're closed, and I don't think it's worth breaking in just to taste some wine. A garage. I wonder what's parked in there. There's a side entrance. Where the hell is a universal skeleton key when you need one? There are some tire tracks in the dirt. These tracks are from the two Freemasons' car, all right, which makes sense since I followed them here.
Yes. Well, come in, Mr. Knight. I'm afraid I can only spare a few moments.
I appreciate that. You know, a friend of mine, Grace, she drove into town yesterday with a couple of guys. Friends of Prince James of Albany. Real nice guys. Scottish, I think. Mallory and MacDougall, I believe their names were.
Are you going somewhere with this, Mr. Knight?
I was wondering if you knew him.
No, I'm afraid not.
Perhaps it's unclear who I'm talking about. You must know them, because after they dropped off Grace last night, they came here. I saw you let them in.
2 men.
2 men. Last night.
Yes, a car did stop here last night. They asked directions. They were only here for a few minutes. Is there a problem?
Not for you, I suppose. Do you have any idea where Mallory and MacDougall are now?
No. I gave them directions and they took off again. Have you seen them?
Yup.
Oh, where?
They're dead. Their bodies were found at the Devil's Armchair, just down the road.
My God.
You seem surprised.
Of course I'm surprised.
About those 2 men who stopped here last night?
Yes?
This may sound strange, but I was taking a walk by the parking area next door, and I thought I saw you all exchange an awfully complicated handshake. For 2 guys who stopped for directions, that is.
How dare you spy on me? I want you to leave. Now.
Are you a Freemason, Mr. Chester?
Now. Or must I call the police?
I think you know those men and Prince James. And I think you know the real reason those men were here. I'm trying to help Prince James myself, even if that means pissing people off.
Mr. Knight, I haven't the slightest idea who you are or what you're talking about.
Right. Uh-huh. Well, thanks for your time. It's a clock. An alarm clock. I can't. It's in there, and I'm out here. I wonder what time he set on that clock. There is a hole in the window, but it's not a very big one. Yeah, I could stick my finger in there if I wasn't picky about scarred tissue. Now, if I can just press the alarm button. 2 a.m. Got it.
Oh, Mr. Baz, I'm so sorry. What a klutz I am.
It is quite all right. I was not paying attention.
Oh, no, it's my fault entirely. I was worrying about something else and not watching at all.
And Lady Howard, is she recovering?
Yes, she's resting quietly. Thank you.
I am very glad to hear that. Good day, Miss Stiles.
Good day, Mr. Bowser.
He sure seemed nervous about that run-in with Estelle. Well, then again, she is a little scary. Buchelli and Wilkes were sitting there. I don't want to take the dirty glass. I could, but Emilio might find it a bit odd. I'd better wait till he leaves. No doubt he will. The guy gets around. I know it's difficult, but come back from the light, Gracie. Come back, come back.
All right. I was almost done anyway.
So what's it?
Hey, kids.
God.
What? You guys weren't about to discuss the case, were you?
Oh, go on, Grace. Tell us about the book.
Okay, check this out. Talk about wild. It ties together Freemasonry, the Templars, this group called the Priory of Sion, and like this bizarro theory about the Holy Grail. Well, what do you want to hear about first?
They're waiting on me. Syrup water and Mosely saliva. Oh, yum. That'd be kinda rude. I'll wait till we're done talking. So, what's this Grail theory you mentioned?
Okay, now, the Grail. Are you ready for this?
Go on.
The Grail is supposed to be a vessel, right? Like a cup, and it contains the blood of Jesus.
Yeah, go on.
The book suggests that the Grail is an allegory for an esoteric secret, a secret so heretical that it had to go underground throughout the Middle Ages. It was passed along as the legend of the Grail.
And that secret is?
That Jesus had descendants. The Grail itself is an allegory of the womb of Mary Magdalene. Okay. In other words, her womb, right, the cup, contained his blood, or rather bloodline. His heirs.
Get out of town.
Kinky. Is anyone actually buying this stuff about Jesus having descendants?
Sounds pretty Looney Tunes to me.
Whether it's true or not is not the point. The point is these secret societies believe it, in a big way. Okay, look, Mary Magdalene came here, right, after the crucifixion?
That's what they say.
Okay, so, she brings the kids, or maybe she's pregnant. Her descendants intermarry with local nobility and become the Merovingian dynasty.
The Merovingians are supposed to be descendants of Jesus?
Yes, and the Catholic Pope betrayed and murdered them, but some of their line survived.
You're losing me.
Sorry, Mose, I'm on a roll. Okay, so the Merovingian survivors hid in this region and had backers here. Well, it could explain why so many heretics kept cropping up in the Languedoc, like the Cathars and the Templars, and Rome kept trying to wipe them out, to bury the secret of the bloodline.
Gee, those wacky popes, you just can't trust them.
Maybe it's those funny hats, you know, all that weight up there on their head.
Fine. I'll shut up now.
What's this got to do with the Templars and the Freemasons?
Okay, according to the book, the Templars were the founders of Scottish Rite Freemasonry, and when they were persecuted, some of them fled to Scotland and changed their name.
What's that got to do with Rennes-le-Chateau?
Only that whatever is going on here, the Freemasons are obviously still involved. Some secret knowledge must have been passed down through the organization.
I'm not sure I want to know, but who or what is the Priory?
The Priory of Sion is an offshoot of the Templars. See, they split off before the Templar persecution, way back in 1188. The Priory returned to France from the Holy Land and set up a bunch of monasteries here.
What's that got to do with now?
Well, the Priory still exists, and they seem to have some kind of major agenda going on with Rennes-le-Chateau.
So what's the Priory's agenda in Rennes-le-Chateau?
I'm not sure exactly. But whatever it is, it probably has something to do with the bloodline.
What's this got to do with the Templars and the Freemasons and Priory of Sion again?
They're all supporters of the bloodline, dedicated to getting the bloodline back on the throne. The Templars were probably founded to find proof of the bloodline's genealogy. That's why they were excavating under the Temple of Solomon. And the Crusades would have been the perfect cover.
Proof like what? A 2,000-year-old birth certificate with the father listed as the son of God?
Jesus was of the royal house of David, and if he had children, it would have been in the temple records.
If the Priory and the Templars were both supporters of the bloodline, then how come they split up?
I don't know. Maybe they had a falling out.
Like Martin Luther and the Catholics.
Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel.
The professor and Mr. Howell.
Don't start.
Here's a random thought. That whole argument between Prince James's men and the Abbé, if the men were Freemasons, could the Abbé be Priory?
Maybe. But I was thinking that Montreux might be Priory.
Montreux?
Yeah, he's the owner of the local winery, Chateau de Serres. There was just something weird about that place.
I'll have to check it out.
Besides, if the Priory and the Freemasons are both supporters of the bloodline, why would they be ripping each other's throats out?
I don't think they're that friendly, Mose. They may have started out in bed together, but that doesn't mean they always agree.
Oh, kind of like the U.S. and England.
Reagan and Bush.
Hardcastle and McCormick.
Siegfried and Roy.
All right already.
How does this relate to the treasure?
The authors think Saunier found the Templar treasure all right, but it wasn't gold. It was ancient genealogy charts from the Temple of Solomon, which Saunier then used to, get this, blackmail the Catholic Church. Or maybe he sold the documents to people like the Priory or the Masons.
Well, it's a theory. Was there anything else I should know about the book?
Maybe just one small thing. Listen. Many of the prominent families in Europe today claim Merovingian descent, including the Habsburg-Lorraines, Wittelsbachs, Plantards, and Montesquieux in France, the Sinclair family in Britain, and the Stuarts of Scotland.
The Stuarts? Prince James is a bloodline descendant?
Holy genealogies, Batman.
Whoa, it does kind of change the whole picture, doesn't it?
I really need to go.
You catching a train?
No, I just,
I still want to read a bit more. So let's meet back here at 5, shall we?
Sure. See ya.
There's something up with him.
Go figure.
I really should go get some other stuff done. Syrup water and Mosely saliva. Oh, yum. I'm really not interested in the backwash of the Mosemeister.
What the hell are you doing?
Playing harmonica.
Okay, stupid question. Why are you taking Mosley's prints?
The guy is about as innocent as a French dance troupe. I don't know what he's guilty of, but he's guilty of something.
He's not on Sydney's suspect list.
Well, gee, guess he can't be a suspect then, can he?
Meaning that you can't scan that print in. Leave it on the desk and I'll add him in later.
I took Mosley's print. Grace said she'd add it to Sydney later. Yeah, it's a tape of Buchelli talking on the phone in Italian. I wonder if I could get this translated. I won't be able to understand it if I translate it to that. Interesting conversation. Duh, what's wrong with this picture? I don't think that's going to get me into a vineyard. That might provoke an interesting response. That might provoke an interesting response. That might provoke an interesting response. Hey, that should work. Buchelli and Wilkes were sitting there. Got it. That's Buchelli's print. It matches the one I already have. I don't need it again. Got it. This print doesn't look anything like the one I got off Buchelli's suitcase. It must be Wilkes's glass. I'll mark it. I'll go get the Harley.
Je regrette, mais nous sommes fermés.
I have no idea what you just said, but I...
Yes, what is it you want?
I sell car polish. It's particularly effective for black sedans. You wouldn't happen to have a black sedan, would you?
No solicitation.
Well, that ID didn't work. I'll have to try something else.
Yes?
I'm here doing a blood drive.
Oh?
Yeah, you wouldn't happen to have any unused blood lying around, would you? Guess not.
Yes?
Hi, I'm with We Do Poo Poo. We're a diaper service, and I was wondering if you have any little tykes running around.
No. Why do you ask?
Just checking the neighborhood. I'll follow my nose. A fake ID. That Sydney's kind of useful after all.
Yes?
My name's Knight. I'm a reporter. I'm doing a feature on Languedoc wineries, and I'd love to include you in my spread.
I'll see if the chateau owner is free.
Bonjour, Monsieur Knight. I'm Excelsior Montreaux, the owner and viticulturist of Chateau de Serres.
Nice of you to see me, Mr. Montreaux. I should have made an appointment, but I get better results just knocking about. The best places don't advertise.
Ah, well, how true. Now allow me to take you to the wine tasting room. Marceau?
What would you like to serve, sir?
Are you a red man or a white? No. Let me guess. Red, yes?
Gosh, it shows, huh?
Do you like it dry?
Oh, hell, I'd drink dust if I could.
Well, let's see then. Perhaps the 76 Merlot.
Yes, sir.
I'm terribly sorry that you caught us unprepared today. We were about to shut the main gate.
Everything's all right, I hope?
Oh, yes. Here, anyway. The constable called a little while ago. There was a murder in the vicinity last night.
A murder?
It's very unusual, I assure you. But I suppose even here we're not immune. Oh, well, we should let it breathe for a moment.
Right. Nothing worse than suffocated wine. Do you know anything about the murder?
No, not really. There were two men, neither of them from here by the sound of it.
Are you from this area, Mr. Montreaux?
Yes and no. I grew up in Paris, but my family has owned this estate for decades. My wife and I permanently settled here some years ago. Children do take pleasure in the country air.
Oh, you got kids?
Oh yes, a beautiful daughter who is away at school, and my firstborn son, Enoch. He's 12. Have you children?
No.
But you must. Oh, children are every man's right to immortality.
Well, It's not the kid part I mind so much as the marriage part.
Oh, no, a wife need not be a burden if she knows her place. Her role is to serve you, after all, to care for home and heirs and leave a man to pursue nobler things.
Boy, do we live in different worlds. What kind of training do you need to be a viticulturist?
The lessons I consider most valuable came from my father. He was quite a master.
What exactly is viticulture?
You are a wine critic, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. I mean, what's your definition?
Well, to me, viticulture is about breeding, and I don't mean the mechanics of grafting. Grafting is only a tool. What's meaningful is the essence of the two vines you're combining. There are literally thousands of grapes, and most viticulturists choose from well-known stock. But my father always bred his own grapes, and has passed down some very rare species.
I'm fascinated.
Really? Well, I don't want to bore you.
I'd like to hear more about your breeding program.
You won't reveal my secrets?
For my ears only.
Very well. The secret is in mixing the best strains, of course. But there is an art to it. My father taught me to visualize the ideal grape. Once you can visualize this perfect fruit, you can analyze even the best stock and see where it is lacking, in color or body, for example. Or perhaps it could be just a touch sweeter or lighter. And the trick is to find a grape equally fine, but one which is perfect in exactly those areas which the first grape is flawed. The marriage of these two vines will produce an heir. And then this heir undergoes the same process, you see.
Oh, don't you ever get where you're going?
Eventually. But even in the interim, your grape will soon be far superior to anyone else's. Try the wine, Mr. Knight.
Wow, that's good.
This fruit did not come about by accident. It is the result of thousands, even millions of crossbreedings. Everything that it is today is a result of that hereditary tree. Don't you think it is ironic that a grape or even a dog or a cat should be so carefully bred, but that most humans depend on such a silly thing as love?
Then again, there is something to be said for spontaneity.
Is there?
You know, hearing you talk, it reminds me of something. What is it?
Alchemy? The transmutation of the philosopher's stone?
Nope, that's not it. It was Ask Mr. Science. Y'all get that program here?
Television? I'm afraid not.
Well, they had this bit about DNA. Kind of how DNA has this funny pasta shape, but it's really billions and billions of instructions, kinda. You get into DNA with your breeding program at all?
Actually, DNA is an interesting issue, Mr. Knight. Did you know that the magic alchemists used was based on an intuitive understanding of the principles of DNA?
I'll be darned.
But to answer your question, no. I have my own ways of testing the vines, and they're far older and more traditional than DNA testing.
He doesn't look particularly sinister to me. Then again, I've been known to be wrong. You can tell this bar belongs in a wine tasting room instead of a pub. It's not wide enough to pass out on. Boy, Wilkes must have thought he died and gone to heaven when the tour stopped here. He strikes me as the quiet type. Maybe it's the ponytail. Montreaux might think it was a bit odd if I started questioning the bartender. You don't think they're going a bit overboard with this French rustic thing, do you? It's just a table. We could sit over there, but, no, we're fine here. I've got a seat. I won't get a chance to talk to this guy again if I leave now. Do you believe the stories about a local treasure?
Indeed. It is in my soil, monsieur.
I ran into an interesting tourist angle today. Seems the Holy Grail is supposed to be around here.
Oh, the Grail is a marvelous legend. But most stories are ignorant of the true meaning of the Grail. You see, the Grail has far less to do with Christ than with an idea. The fountain of youth, the eternal flame, the philosopher's stone.
All of those are related to the Grail?
Oh, yes. The Grail is that thing, that one thing, or whatever symbol you use for it, that represents completion, perfection, the absolute. Do you understand now?
Well, no, not really.
Turning base lead into pure gold, that is the alchemist's aim. But it's not about real lead and real gold. It's symbolic. Man is the lead. God is the gold. Man to God. That is the alchemist's goal. That is the Holy Grail.
Huh. But I thought with the Grail, it was actually the blood. The blood in the Grail that was the, the immortal thing.
Well, of course. The blood is the elixir of life. The juice of the forbidden fruit.
The juice of the forbidden fruit?
No, never mind. Dusty old theories are a hobby of mine. Let's stick to the wine, shall we? Excuse me. Hello, ici Excelsior. Ah oui. Préparez Enoch pour sa leçon. Forgive me, I'm afraid I must return to the house. The news of the murder has quite upset my wife. Besides, my son awaits his afternoon lesson.
Well, thanks for the interview, Mr. Montreaux.
You're most welcome. Au revoir, Mr. Knight.
Kind of a nice fella. I don't want to overtax my welcome, at least not yet. That guy needs some Prozac. I wonder what he's looking for. He's already pissed enough. Estelle stopped in the middle of nowhere, as far as I can tell. Why would they stop here? This place isn't even interesting enough to have a tourist sign. There's nothing here but trees. Looks like we got us another treasure hunter. Hi, Estelle. Everything okay?
Did you follow me here, Mr. Knight?
Me? I just stopped to see if you needed help.
I do not need help, but thank you for your concern.
Don't mention it. So, how come Lady Howard's not with you? Kinda joined at the hip, ain't you?
She's had a very difficult morning. I would have stayed with her, but time is of the essence.
How did you meet Lady Howard, anyway?
Her family was the largest landholders in my village. I knew her growing up, of course, but we never played together. She made quite a name for herself on the stage, you know, when she was younger.
Huh.
And I was working in London myself as a nurse. I went to see her perform. Well, we became friends. When my father died and left me the cottage, we moved back to Hampstead. It's not exactly the manor she was born to, but it was sold years ago. Ironically, it's on the market again.
Does Lady Howard still perform?
Well, she's taking a break from her career.
So, what's out here?
You can see for yourself.
Doesn't look like anything to me. But then you wouldn't be here if that was the case now, would you?
Some people don't care to tell other people their business.
Oh, that's kind of rude, isn't it? It was a perfectly friendly question.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's just that Lily really prefers we keep our business to ourselves. Some people can be ruthless, you know, particularly...
Men?
Well, now that you've said so yourself.
So this is the spot you and Lady Howard are betting your treasure hunting dollars on, huh?
Really? I wish you wouldn't ask such things.
Hey, just curious. I don't believe in the treasure myself. All that stuff about ciphers and nonsense.
Saunier didn't conjure that money.
Well, I'm not saying he didn't find something, but what if he took all there was?
I don't believe it. There's got to be something here,
And we've got to find it? Why is that, Miss Styles?
It's none of your business. I'm sorry, but that's all I'm going to say about it.
I don't have anything else to say to her.
Stewart residence?
Mesme, this is Gabriel Knight.
Hold on, please. It's him. Mr. Knight?
Hello, Prince James. I'm afraid I have some pretty bad news. Sir, Your men were found dead this morning.
I see. Yes. It's horrifying news.
I can tell you everything I know about it.
Please, do.
Well, they left here last night about... drained into the ground. We found 2 pools. Well, hell, it looked ritualistic to me.
Lord, I just don't understand.
Nor do I. But the killing still revolved around blood. I think...
Mosely and I were just discussing this. You see, I have certain affairs which you know nothing about, and I'm not inclined to involve an outsider.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that picture. But if I'm to...
That's why I sent my own men down there. Now this, frankly, I don't know what to do. Son's life, my son's life means everything to me.
I know.
And Mosely thinks you'll be able to do some good. So I'll ask you to keep your eyes open, at least until further notice. But that does not mean intruding on. Please, just try to stay focused on finding the child.
Sir, I'd be a lot more successful if you told me everything.
Goodbye, Mr. Knight. You'll hear from us soon.
God. Say, Jean, do you guys do wake-up calls? Maybe you could have Simone buzz the room for me about 2 a.m.?
Certainement.
You won't let me down now, will ya?
Oh, most assuredly, monsieur. I forget nothing.
So where's Mosely?
Hey guys, it's 5.
Thank you, oh guardian of the clock.
Okay, don't start, you two. I want to hear what happened.
You mean at Chateau de Serres? You're right. The guy's probably into one of these secret societies. You should have heard him go on about alchemy, but I don't know. He seemed more bookish than anything.
I say anyone who's involved with these secret societies is a big suspect.
Speaking of which, Larry Chester is definitely lying. He said MacDougall and Mallory just stopped by last night for directions. I couldn't get him to crack.
Who's this? Chester?
That's right.
Interesting. I'll get started on the treasure angle. Check out the museum and church tonight. That book really got my juices flowing.
So that's what it takes.
Huh?
So, are we gonna eat or what? I'm starved.
Well, actually, Grace and I had talked about catching up.
That's okay, Mose. I want to stick with my research for a while. Why don't you and Gabriel go?
I can wait till later if you...
No, I think that's a great idea. In fact, I think we should be going right now, shouldn't we, Mose?
See ya.
See, Grace, maybe after dinner?